live.
Yes.
I think we were live like before you said that, but okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sadie and Shawn Have No Friends, presenting sponsor. We got to thank them, Talent Co Real Estate. Just go to homeandnoco.com. And I feel so rude starting this episode because I did not introduce our amazing guest to Shawn before we came on. And so, Kelly, this is Shawn.
What up, yo?
What up, yo?
I'm trying to relate to your generation because I'm a lot older. So
how old? Wow, that's
the
a weird
biggest
thing
compliment
to
you
ask.
could ever give me. Thank you so much for telling me, because I'm probably the same age as you.
No, I'm going to be 50 this year.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You don't look 50. You look amazing.
You do look amazing.
Thank you.
You're rubbing morgue stuff on your face, aren't you?
So much. Yes. So much shit, like all day.
Before we start, before Sadie gets involved and ruins this episode, I need to say something.
You see how he talks to me, Kelly? It's just charming.
I need to make sure of something, because we've only had one other guest on this podcast in the history of us doing it. And that guest was supposed to be, I don't know if you're familiar with this, it was supposed to be a psychic, and the psychic turned out to be not real. And it was a prank being pulled on me. So I need you to solemnly swear that you're actually a morgue worker.
Yeah. No, this isn't the morgue worker. That one's coming up.
Oh, well,
is there really?
Yes.
Thanks for prefacing this, Sadie.
Okay. Well, that's what I was trying to do. And you're like, first of all, let me just stop you there.
Sadie texted me earlier today and said the lady from the morgue wants to join us on the show.
I said, when are you free to do that? And we blow our third guest.
Oh,
and let's
I hope you're not
on
offended,
guest number
Kelly.
2.
All right. Well,
I would love to be a morgue worker.
I have no idea who Kelly is. All right.
I wish I would have told you to pretend.
Okay, I can tell you.
Okay, so Kelly has her own podcast, and Kelly, tell us a little bit about that. Give us a synopsis.
All right, so it's called ODFM, and it stands for 1D from murder. So each episode, the D changes with whatever the specific episode is that we're talking about. So yes, we have had one dick, one of my favorites. We have had Sadie on our show too.
I've actually been, and I remember getting done and going, God, I was filthy.
It was wonderful.
Bad. Okay.
She wanted to name it one drippy dick, but we didn't go with that.
I suggested, I'm like, you really want to add some jazz hands. But she didn't take it, and it's fine. It's fine.
No, we went with doctor.
Now, what do? You talk about murders.
Mm-hmm. We're true crime and comedy. So, two things that go hand in hand.
Right.
We do true crime story each week. We tell each other. My co-host was a roommate of mine in Chicago like 20 some years ago. So each of us tells a story the other doesn't necessarily know. And
so it's like you jump in and you just, okay. And I decided Kelly would be amazing to come on because Shawn is obsessed with murder documentaries and I feel like he knows so much. So I want to see if you can stump him, because she said, do you want to know the case that we're going to talk about? And I said, no, I want you to just surprise us. So go ahead.
Right. And there might be a chance you haven't heard this case, because this actually was very personal to me. This is why we started podcasting. It was a neighbor of mine. Yes. Yes.
You still live in that creepy ass house?
No, we do not. That was
thank God. And also rest in peace, neighbor.
Right.
That was
sad. No, this was over on the Western Slope in Whitewater, which is right outside of Grand Junction. So this story is about Miriam Helmick. You might know because it is a Colorado story, obviously. Mm-hmm. She was known as the Whitewater Widow.
Okay.
Have you heard of her yet? No?
No.
Perfect.
And she was one of your neighbors. Okay.
She was a neighbor from 2006 to 2008. So in our particular subdivision, this was outside of Grand Junction, every house there had at least an acre. And our house butted up to theirs, which was over 40 acres.
Okay. Wow.
So it was beautiful. And they had money, these people did. We did not. I don't know how we got out there. But our houses were probably 150 yards apart. So still close enough you could see what they were doing.
Yeah,
so
sure.
On June 10th of 2008, I was outside watering with my two boys. They were 1 and 3 at the time. It was windy and hot as it normally was. in the summers, and I see this ambulance, police cars, unmarked police vehicles. You could tell some shit went down right outside their
Right.
house.
Right.
And their last name was Helmick. So now I'm just watering to watch what's happening. I mean, I finished, so I'm just out there.
Just wasting water.
Weird. I'm in the desert.
That's what I do when I finish early too. I just keep on watering.
Oh, but
Chuck, you always have to add a disgusting wiener joke, and I'm tired of it. In front of our guests,
a day would not go by without I mean, I have boys, 2 teen boys, so I get it.
So you've heard wiener talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're outside pretend watering because you see all these crazy
shit
vehicles,
happening.
and you're like, and I have to say, when I see like a fire truck or something in my neighborhood, everybody be looking outside, including myself.
Of course. You're like, oh, I suddenly need to walk the dog. Yeah. So that was me. I'm standing out there and a cop sees me, of course. So he comes over to talk to me. And he's like, I'm like, is everything okay? Obviously not. And he tells me, Alan Helmick, who was Miriam's husband, was killed in what looks to be like a robbery homicide. So I'm like, oh shit, it's real. So he's asking me,
get the dog inside.
He's like, did you hear anything? And out there, it's very windy all the time. And it had been windy through the night. And I did hear banging, but I couldn't say it was anything other than wind at the time,
Yeah.
So this was the beginning of learning this wild ass story about our neighbors.
Oh my God, I'm
ready.
unassuming,
but you never know. So Alan Helmick, we'd only met him a few times. He was super sociable, nice. Our first impression of Miriam, his wife, was that she was a little odd. When we met her, they weren't married yet. I thought at the time, she's just shy because I'm naive and stupid. But Alan was this well-known businessman who grew up in Delta, Colorado, which is about 30 minutes from Grand Junction. He's this 62-year-old multimillionaire. Didn't know that at the time. Had I known that, I probably would have gotten to know him better.
Me too.
Right? Use your connections.
Damn. Okay.
But Alan had been married to his high school sweetheart before Miriam for like 29 years. But in 2003, she had died of a heart attack. So Alan was heartbroken. He decides he's going to take up ballroom dancing as a way to honor her memory. I would take up like bonbons and Netflix, but
I would take up booze and
a
lot of weed.
Yeah.
Shawn, what would you take up if you were sad?
Twinkies and masturbation.
Right. This was unusual. I was like, this is a little healthy for a memory.
Continue. I'm sorry. We have this issue where we like squirrel away, and
I love it. No, that's the best part of it. That's how we do too. I mean, otherwise murder is too heavy and it's not fun, right? I mean,
we want to make murder like fun. Okay.
Make murder fun again.
Yeah.
Amen.
Oh, so he takes it up as kind of a therapy for himself. And this is where he meets 48-year-old Miriam.
And she's a ballroom dancer. Shit.
Dancer, yes.
How old was he at the time, by the way?
He was 62. So
and how old was she?
She's 48.
48. Okay.
Yep.
So we already know where this is going.
Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Miriam had recently moved to Colorado from Florida in 2005, of course, because Florida is almost always in one of our stories. I've got to tell you, Florida's
issues. A wild ass place. Okay.
Dude. So she had moved there in 2005, and she'd found this job as a dance instructor. And Miriam and Alan had met there. They began spending all their time together. I'm guessing she kind of had an idea that he was wealthy.
Yeah.
He financed buying a dance studio and a horse farm for her because these were two of her passions.
She must have had a golden,
yeah, a golden hoo-ha.
Must have been tight and like, God, that sounds gross, and I'm sorry, but I mean, and he's looking for but I'm in my 40s, and it's not gorgeous. What it was in my 20s.
But it's this lady, I would not have, but who knows? Okay. So. Sorry, drinking my coffee and shit.
You drink coffee out of a straw?
Yeah, so that I don't make noise for you guys.
Oh, that's...
But I just did anyway.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Okay, back on it, guys.
Okay, back on it. So they got married in June 2006, which is just like a year after they met. Soon after, Alan starts getting sick. So he's constantly dizzy. He's sick for months at a time. Prior to this, his kids, they're adults. They'd been like Dad's healthy as a horse. Like, I mean, he does ballroom dancing. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. And he does that younger wife. I mean, that's exhausting
He
too.
goes to work out and he comes
He
home
has
and
to
work out.
dance and have sex. It's
I mean,
exhausting.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
She's 48, not 28, by the way. I feel like you misheard, Sadie.
But aren't the
I know,
40s
you're right.
aren't the 40s when women are at their peak?
They hit their peak. Yeah. They
Right?
become
So-
ravenous sex animals. And
so
I'm ready for that to start.
I think I passed over that.
Okay, back to the story.
Okay, so almost as soon as the couple's married, no one can get a hold of Alan. So Miriam answers all his calls for him, and no one can get him on the phone directly, not even his kids.
Okay, so she okay, no, keep going.
Mhm.
I'll save this question. Go
Yeah,
ahead, sorry.
I even remember trying to call him because their horses knocked down part of our adjoining, ranch style fence, and I needed to get a hold of him to see if he could help us, but couldn't get through. No answer, leaving tons of messages. So that was weird.
Uh-oh.
Hadn't been like him before.
So did you think when you saw the ambulance and everything, were you like, oh shit, I bet it's Alan. He hasn't been answering.
Right. I figured he might have died of a heart attack or something because he was older. I thought, oh, darn it. It happened.
Who's gonna
but-
fix my fence?
Well, I have to pull up this by myself. Oh my God.
Shawn, laugh at that. Okay, go ahead.
No, he's good. So I have been.
That wasn't funny.
You got to say something funny to be laughed at.
You guys are both assholes. Okay, go ahead.
So about a month and a half before Alan's murder, he and Miriam had gone to Delta together where they had the dance lessons and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Miriam claims, I got to pull aside. I got to go to the bathroom. So pull up to this restaurant, I'm going to run in. So she runs in. She couldn't wait. She couldn't go to the dance studio. She just had to go.
Fine,
yeah. So she tells her husband, pull over. And she tells him, pop the trunk. I got to get something out of the back of the car. I don't know, maybe a tampon or something. Maybe her purse is back there. I don't know.
Yeah, dudes don't ask. They're
No.
just like, ew.
I'm going to start asking because this dude got murdered.
This is a reason to ask. So she has him pop the trunk. She does something in the back, goes inside. Alan stays in the car to wait for her, and he sees smoke coming from the back of the car, and he's like, what the hell? So he gets out, sees what the problem is. There's a wick shoved in the full gas tank that had been set on fire. He's easily able to just pull it out. And,
he's like, damn it, woman, stop trying to murder me. Yes, it makes the sex better, but damn it.
It's more exciting.
So she tried to murder him and he stayed with her?
Right. And it seems like I remember some of the detectives saying he even told them that he thought she probably had been the one trying to do that, but he said, like, what? He gave
oh my God, I would have
a
a real problem that somebody tried to do that to me. And yeah,
I mean, you get what do they say in baseball? 3 strikes and you're out.
Right.
This is
he only
one
got
strike.
2 strikes.
Well, this is 2 strikes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so far because he was sick before.
He was sick.
Oh,
Then
that's
she tried to light his damn car on fire.
Right.
He's still good. She's got one more strike.
She's got one more to
try.
go.
Well, she did it.
Yeah.
Kelly, tell us how that happened.
Okay. Well, going on with this, do you need me to like skip to the end?
No.
I know you're short on time. Okay.
No, you're good. You got 17 full minutes to tell this story.
Oh my God. Good. Because I got
17.
time. Okay. So workers at the restaurant, they go to the bathroom when Miriam, after she had used it, and they were like, damn, it smelled like lighter fluid. Really bad.
She sucks at crime.
So they tell the cops this, and
like, I don't know if this correlates. Okay.
You're not so good at this. So they even found out that the Helmicks had rented a movie in which a car was blown up by someone putting a cloth in the gas tank. So obviously she saw this on a movie. Right.
Okay.
So just over a month later, it's June 10th, 2008, Miriam makes a 911 call claiming there's a robbery and Alan is dead from a gunshot to the back of the head. Lying next to him, I know, right? Lying next to him is a 25 caliber shell casing, a wallet, and a cell phone. But police say, crime scene's all wrong. Nothing's stolen. They know it's staged. Drawers pulled out. I mean, typical shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, this woman clearly is so easy to see through. The
Right.
cops are probably like, well, she finally did it.
Right. She tells him, "Oh, no, I left the house, like, early the morning. Alan gave me money to go shopping. Alan went to take a shower while she was shopping, and he was gonna meet her in Grand Junction for lunch." She says she calls him several times while she's in Junction. He never answers. He doesn't show up to their lunch. She waits at the restaurant, and then she finally goes home, and that's when she says she finds him.
Mm.
So she really was going to different stores. They find out from surveillance tapes, cops do. She had stopped at a convenience store and 4 other locations. And I know that, I mean, cops are documenting each of this, but it
Yeah,
doesn't mean that she wasn't there earlier in the morning and had done it. So,
right. She
um,
does suck at crime, but go ahead.
right, right. Let's see, there was some
It would
other
be real
things.
shitty if a robber actually came in and shot this dude because she's gonna get.
Yeah, but not
Right,
really. She's pretty shitty for trying to
Well,
murder this
that's
dude
true.
2 times prior.
Yeah, she
right,
deserved to
So,
go to jail no matter what.
not
right.
to go back to that, Kelly, but
Mm.
when the first 2 attempts happened, did his kids go, dude,
Oh,
like,
mhm.
you got to get away from this Black Widow?
They were trying, but they couldn't get a hold of him. Like I said, like, they would show up out there even, and she wouldn't let him in saying, "Oh, your dad's too sick. I'm sorry, you can't come in."
Oh, no.
Plus, I gotta say, driving to their house, you had to take a weird off-road to get to their house. So it's not like a random robber's gonna stop on the edge of the highway and be like, "Wow, I'm gonna go on that off-road and see
To
if I can
get to
find a house
there.
back there." Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay. Another
so
strike against dumbass lady.
dumbass lady. So they go and they start checking out stuff. They find gun residue in Miriam's car, on her
Okay.
steering wheel.
Great.
And because had been sick for a long time, technicians examine Miriam's computer and find out she made online searches for Ambien overdose and purple foxglove and Viagra overdose. Like, she's trying to find ways.
She's like,
I
she's
didn't know
like,
you could not overdose on Viagra. I need to start watching it.
Well, I think she was hoping so because he
that would
had
just be exhausting because you'd have to be like, God dang it, 5 pills. He's not dead, but he won't leave me alone.
he's got like donkey dick
I'm
at this point.
exhausted.
Ah.
Okay, continue.
Okay, but when the medical examiner, they did the autopsy, they actually didn't find any trace of poison in the body.
But that was the only thing going for her, it sounds
Right,
like.
right.
Okay.
He had also suffered from serious heart disease, and they thought, it probably wouldn't have been long had she waited, that he
Yeah.
could
And
have
she'd have
died on
got
his
that
own.
money.
Mhm.
And she wouldn't have been a murderer.
Right.
Okay.
So at one point, she comes home with her friend Penny, and I had met this Penny before. They had noticed that, the police had put police tape across the door, and they had noticed that it had been removed. So they go over to the front door, and underneath the welcome mat is this bright envelope. So they pick it up, handwritten on the front, it said, "To the grieving widow." They take out the card. It's a cartoon on the front with Einstein on it.
It's Snoopy.
Stupid. It's Snoopy.
You finally did it,
Happy
kid.
grieving.
Yeah, 3 times, but you
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yep. Alan was first. Okay, so inside the note, it says, "Alan was first. You're next. Run, run, run."
Yeah.
So Miriam brings it to our house to show us.
What? You were
Right.
part of this? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
My husband was.
Okay.
Thankfully, I was gone. I probably hid. Somebody rings the doorbell, I hide. I'm not the
Oh,
type to go
you're
answer
my
it.
people.
Yeah. So she shows it to my husband. He actually takes photos of the note and immediately calls the cops after she leaves. So he does have to testify during her trial. But
Oh.
investigators find this particular card was sold at a chain of city markets. It had the UPS or a UPC code on the back of it.
Had her fingerprints. She accidentally wrote her
Right.
name, but then tried to scratch
Love
it
Miriam.
out.
Oh,
Damn it. I only have 1 card. I hope they don't notice.
they actually find surveillance tape of her buying the card, and she's actually even wearing some of the same clothes that they had interviewed her in. So she fesses up.
Wow.
She's like, "Yes, I bought the card, but I was just trying to keep attention on Alan's case." So
That is a dumb
Stupid,
excuse too.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has this woman never watched Dateline
I
or
know.
Forensic Files? Like,
Woman.
you got to be on your shit.
Woman
Go
will
ahead.
get this. So when they're talking to the kids, they find out that 20 years earlier, a gun had been involved in a dispute with Alan's parents. It was this heirloom. It was some kind of unique gun. It was a 25 caliber. Remember that casing was a 25 caliber.
Oh,
Yeah. So the dad, apparently his dad had an kind of a problem with the mom at some point, and they were arguing on their front lawn. Neighbor saw what's happening and intervened, and the gun went off and the bullet went into the lawn 20 years earlier. So the investigators go searching for this bullet to see if they can match it to the one that's in Alan.
what?
They find it. And even though it's badly corroded, the grooves are still visible. So they compare it, and it's the same gun had fired it. They never found the weapon, but they were able to connect it through that to say this is the weapon she used.
So did you see her coming and going a ton from, and was she happy? Was she like,
she was very talkative. I was stupid
weirdo.
and naive, and I brought her a gift basket. Like, I am so sorry your husband got murdered. Here's some cheese. But she
I mean, what are you supposed to do?
I know, right? I was like,
Ferrero Rocher.
I don't want to be next. I'm gonna give that bitch some cheese too.
I'm gonna get you the good stuff. Hickory Farms all the way.
Yeah, right. I love those cheese balls from Hickory Farms.
Right?
They're my
There's
favorite.
Squirrel, get back to it.
So the investigators are digging into Miriam. They still can't arrest her because they didn't have enough yet.
My
God,
I know. What do you have?
They want to make sure their case is super tight, right?
Sounds pretty tight.
I know, you'd think. So they dig into her past. They find out her Jack Giles, who was her former husband in Florida. He had died of a gunshot wound in 2002 while lying in bed with Miriam. And apparently, she claims it's a suicide.
I was not laughing at that. I'm sorry.
No. But like, haha, it's Miriam, obviously, right?
That's why you do background checks before you marry chicks.
Right.
Have you killed anyone?
Have you killed anyone?
If your ex-husband has died by a gunshot wound while he was laying next to you, I'm not marrying you.
I know. So she's suspected in his death, but investigators can't say that he didn't do it. Although he was left-handed, but the gunshot was on his right side of his head and the gun was found in his right hand. But they couldn't find anything to actually.
These cops are ridiculous.
It was her. I know.
I feel like Andy and Barney would have solved this shit by now.
Well, and interestingly, her half-brother is a cop, and he was the first to the scene of that incident. And he was the one to declare it a suicide. So you never know. She ended up with $100,000 from that. Yeah, she got his life insurance.
Oh gosh.
So,
okay.
While she goes back to Florida to stay with her son while all this shit's going down, all this investigation, turns out she is counterfeiting checks. She's trying to pretend she's Alan's ex-wife. All this weird shit. She's even going on dating sites of multimillionaire men to try to find another man.
She's so stupid.
She's really stupid.
It's almost making me angry how stupid she did this murder.
Stupid. So they obviously are tracking her. They had an investigator stalking her basically all the way down there. So they finally get enough and they're like, all right, we're going to charge her. They figure out during the trial, prosecutors are saying, she was probably stealing money from Alan. The farm and the dance studio were bleeding money, and he probably was about to find out. And so she felt like she had to get rid of him.
Time's up. Okay.
No one ever found where she disposed her weapon or what clothes she was wearing. So I wonder if it's on their 40 acres of land that's out there. But jurors didn't think she was believable. She even went on the stand. You never do that, by the way, in your own self-defense.
Never go on the. Never. I feel like I would go on the stand. I'd be like, is that what you need me to do?
Right. Everybody thinks it's like, oh, you can totally prove your innocence, but it's always a bad decision. And lawyers always tell you, don't do it. She did. So
what? I didn't know that. Okay.
Don't do it.
She got up there
because she's watch.
No,
the trial because Sadie's mom probably was there.
So. I know, right? She went to that Daybell won, right?
That's right, she did. And now
I'm
she's
so
going to fly to
jealous.
another state to
What?
see another trial. I'm like, this is a weird retirement hobby you're picking up.
That sounds fun. I would do that.
Okay, well, you
I'll
got
go
a
with her.
travel buddy.
All right. So in 2009, Miriam's convicted of first-degree murder. She's sentenced to life plus 108 years for 14
You know
counts of
what?
fraud.
Can I tell you? I don't get that. I feel like if
Yeah.
y-
If you
you
say
get
life-
life and 100, like that's just a little stupid to me. I'm like, just say life till you're dead.
Yeah,
That's
but it all has to do with like the appeals process,
Yep.
right? To make sure that asshole
Yeah.
never gets out of jail.
Okay, go
Exactly.
ahead.
Because they will, life often ends up being like, 30 years, you
Right.
know? So, yep. So that's it right now. I know she started like a dog training thing at the prison over there because dogs are
How
life.
do you train your dog to kill your next husband?
But that is the story of Miriam Helmick. So
And
she
you
was my
lived
neighbor.
by her.
Did you
So
like?
stupid.
I think I would be freaked out to sleep in my own house after somebody got murdered next door.
Sean
they
You
were
gets
seem like a
scared.
tough person. I'm kind of a weak puss, but I probably have moved. The day
You
after
know-
the ambulance was there, I'd be out. My
Right.
for sale.
I'm more afraid of people, and this is a rural area. It was very, I mean, we backed
spooky.
up to BLM land. Actually, I feel safer without as many people around. People are
Oh,
what
that's
scare me.
Yeah, for sure.
People are freaky,
Okay.
but no, I was like, well, they're already dead. And I know what her motive was. I don't have money like Ellen, so it wasn't too rich.
Yeah, I'm scared of ghosts though. That's what I'm scared of, and I feel like Alan might have got me.
Alan, I think he's probably in prison with Miriam, just shitting her on her days there. Wouldn't you? That's
Yeah,
what I
but
would
you
do.
don't- I
I
don't know if
would-
you get to pick. You haunt
Oh.
the place where you died.
You have to stay there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean likes
Yeah.
to make up these imaginary rules that are just
No,
and then
I know how
and
ghosts
then
work,
he
Sadie.
stands by them till the death. It's like,
Have you
okay.
ever heard of a ghost that haunted a place that's like 14 million miles away from where they died? No,
Well,
you
yeah,
haven't.
that attached to people. Have you heard
They
those
do,
stories?
dummy.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm learning something new today.
I
No,
don't
you're
know.
not, because I've told you that. You have to, when we used to do those ghost tours, you have to be like, no one can come home.
That's right.
with
You got to
me.
do the protection shit.
You have to do the protection shit, Sean. I told you that.
I've never done that.
Well,
That's
here's
why he's
hers.
having so many problems at his house. They've all come with him.
Oh my God. So you said your husband took the stand.
He did. I didn't
So
even go then. My kids were
I
so
was gonna
little. That
you
was
were
my
just
life.
like, have
I'm
a
like,
good day at murder court.
yeah. Isn't that weird? I didn't go. I probably was like, I just don't want to be around this shit at all, which now I do, now that I've got the podcast. But back then I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
I just think that would have been so interesting to
know.
see. So, what did he say about it? I mean, he just got up and told the story about the note.
He was kind of sequestered ahead of time. Like they don't let any of the witnesses in during the trial until it's their exact time to speak, and then they're taken out. So he didn't get to
Oh.
watch any of it. I was afraid it would be like, I would have to say something. 48 Hours came out and did a story about it. So they filmed from our house from back there. So that was neat, but I didn't
If
want to be
people
in
want
it.
to Google this episode of 48
Mm.
Hours, what is it called?
I think it's just called The Whitewater Widow. So
The white. I'm going to
Mhm.
write that down and I'm going to go back. And that was
Yeah,
like
you'll
my
have to
next
find it.
question. Like, have you ever gotten a ring from Keith Morrison? Like, I want to come tell
No.
your story.
You know, the producers did call and I just ignored them all. I think so many different ones called, but at the time I was like, I don't want to have anything to do with this shit. Don't pull me in. Because we had the feeling she was trying to kind of pin something on us. She was saying, I know, because she was saying, she thought she saw a guy with a white truck and dark hair driving around her property, which we had a white truck and my husband's hair was dark at that time.
No wonder
you know?
he turned her ass in when she
Right.
showed
He
him
was like,
blood.
fuck that. I'm going to,
Yeah.
don't you dare bring me into this shit, psycho.
Were you scared? Was that an element of it?
I guess I was afraid she would try to drag us into it because you could tell
Okay.
she's very manipulative, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think I was just like,
And you brought her cheese?
I brought her fucking cheese. And my
Yeah.
husband at the time, he was like, you know, she did it. And I'm like, no, why would you do that? That's so mean. Oh,
Did you
sure.
really not believe it?
I just didn't think it could happen next door to us, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So
That's
since
true.
then,
That would be more scary though. That would be like if there is really a murderer on the loose that tried to rob their house. Is your house next?
Right. Right. And that was what I was concerned about. And I did ask the cop when he came over, I was like, is there a reason for us to be
Yeah.
concerned? And he said, we really don't think
No, she
so.
did it.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Call ADT just to be
Right.
safe.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
He kind of,
insane.
yeah, he said, no, I think we're on to something here. So I was like, oh, okay.
That was probably the quickest case they ever were able to put together.
They did so much legwork on it. I was very impressed because I think on that 48 hours episode, they talk about each forensic detail that they went through. And I was like, wow, they were on it. So
Well, there's
Wow.
probably not a whole lot of murder action in Grand Junction, Colorado, so they were probably pretty
you
excited.
would be surprised.
Oh,
There are a
really?
lot of murders, Shawn.
There are
You're,
so many over there.
I'm
It
gonna
is the, oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say in this episode that our guest is you're a murder expert because this woman knows every murder.
There's so
I
many.
mean, she has a podcast where you can listen to her talk about murders. It's fascinating. Go
What's it
ahead.
called?
Murders. It's called ODFM. 1D for murder.
Oh, that's
One.
right. You did say.
Yeah. Yeah, there recently was a people put out shit on their lawn, like just take it for free. We just moved in or whatever.
Oh,
This
yeah,
was
I
last
saw
year.
this story. I
The
saw this
head,
one.
there
Yeah,
was a
in like a
fucking head
refrigerator.
in a freezer. Yes, that
And
someone
they
put
left
on
it
their
like,
lawn.
I saw that.
It
what
was
were
the
they
people.
gonna?
They were moving in, and this had been left from the people before them. There's a random head in there. Random head. This was in Junction.
When did
so-
this happen?
God, this had to be a few months ago or so.
Yeah, it wasn't that long
Yeah.
ago. I feel like I just read it.
Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Yeah,
Holy,
you need to go Google that.
Yeah, there's
Well,
scary shit.
that is some scary shit.
All right, Kelly. I'm sad
we
that
gotta
I
go.
misintroduced you as a morgue worker because what you do is really
know,
cool too. I was
I'd
at
be
first I was
willing.
disappointed
I
because I
know,
was ready
I
to
know.
talk about whether dead people get boners and stuff, and you don't know.
Oh, I'm tuning in to that one because I really want to know
It's
the
gonna
same.
happen.
Yeah, we have a lot of dead people questions.
I love
So
it.
we're excited about this, but I loved talking to you and you telling this story. And I think we need to have Kelly on to tell us murder stories
So
regularly.
many. We
Yeah.
have over 200 episodes, so yeah, I can give you so many stories.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, thank
you're
you for
invited back
being.
anytime you want. Thank you
Thank
for not
you.
being a prankster.
See? You can
Goals.
relax now, Shawn. So thank you to Kelly again. The website is what is it?
ODFM. Yeah.
ODFM.
DFMpodcast.com.
So,
yeah. But you
yeah.
can find us in all the places and YouTube.
And be sure to subscribe to their channel because
Please do. We're
All right.
dorks.
That is it for today's episode of Sadie and Shawn Have No Friends. Shawn has to get to a meeting because he's very important.
He
and
has
so
a life.
he does.
Thanks,
I'm
Shawn.
going to go back to laundry, but thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.